Hello, and welcome back for another one of our audio blogs where I give you my opinion and you sit back and listen. Today, let's talk about a very strange notion that seems to have become a common norm amongst many popular and mainstream spiritual traditions. It seems that people have come to erroneously assume that there is actually a point to all of them. We hear terms like reaching nirvana, becoming ascended, becoming a Buddha, achieving Shambhala, whatnot. These things are incessantly repeated, despite the fact that no one can really describe what it's like to achieve such a state. Even more absurd was a strongly held notion that the coming of December 21st, 2012 would initiate some sort of instant ascension for those truly upon the virtuous path. Yet, we see that this prescribed date is come and gone, with nary a human being transcending into a being of light. And this has left many people disappointed and confused about what went wrong. What went wrong is what I alluded to previously, is that the notion of an external source granting any individual with a magical ability to convert DNA or ascend into a fourth or fifth dimensional existence or to suddenly become a being of pure light, it's pure bunk. Ascension is not a magical and instantaneous process, nor is it something that anyone, anything, or any single event can ever give to you. You might even think of this as salvation can never be externally granted. Now you see, a metaphor that's common to many traditions is that the state of ascension or nirvana is like the pinnacle of a mountain. There are many roads that lead to the top of the mountain, and some of them may even be divergent. However, no matter the path that one takes, the destination is always the same. Alright, now this is a nice, feel-good metaphor that satisfies the masses. However, upon deeper introspection of it, it's completely meaningless. There is no pinnacle, there is no mountain. All that exists is your continued experience of the journey. And when you engage in any spiritual practice, all of the joys, the pain and suffering, even every moment of elation or exasperation are all expressions of your own growth. It's a growth without end, without destination, without any end goal. Aleister Crowley stated this correctly when he wrote in the Book of Law, "For pure will, unassuaged of purpose, delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect." Live every moment engaged in the practice of expressing your own divine essence or your will through all that you do. Do these things without any expectation of result, just for the purpose of doing them. And you'll know that you're engaged in the correct spiritual practice for you if your working enables you to further discover what brings you pure joy. And as you discover these things, learn to exacerbate them throughout all of your life. Now, we have moved into a time of human development where asceticism is no longer beneficial. That means learning to do without, fasting, and being poor and meager and devoid of anything pleasurable in your life. These things are no longer beneficial to us. Rather, it's actually willful indulgence for only those things that bring you the highest level of happiness that will further your spiritual progress, or any progress, even if you're not looking for spiritual progress. That's the key, though, the highest joys. You see, the only goal is to experience your highest joys to the fullness of your being and use them to establish your own standards for living. No more goals, no more expected achievements. If you're not looking for spiritual advancement or conscious evolution, guess what? You're on the right path. Contrary to the constant espousements of established spiritual dogma, the path of spiritual evolution is simply living your life the way you want to live that brings you the greatest of joys. Now, finding your greatest joys is not as simple as it seems. The key is understanding what the greatest of joy is for you. You may think that you want that big piece of chocolate cake or a night with the hottest woman in the nightclub, But you have to think, will that one moment of indulgence really bring you the greatest joy? Maybe a greater joy comes from limiting your intake of chocolate cake, not completely abandoning it, but limiting it and enjoying a life full of healthful indulgences like exercise, eating healthy, doing the right things for your body and your being. And you also need to ask yourself, will a single night with a beautiful woman really fulfill your sense of belonging and being loved and the pure ecstatic joy of loving another human being? Maybe, just maybe, that's what it means to be living in heaven. Maybe that's what it means to finally achieve nirvana or to be in Shambhala. It's not the achievement of a certain state of being or a certain state of consciousness or any sort of ideal in any dogmatic religion. Maybe heaven is just achieving a higher state of bliss and joy that is conducive only to your authentic nature. Maybe that's what divinity is. Finding out who you really are at the core of your being and living that to the fullest that you can. This is a path of discovery, of experimentation and validation. Again, I can't emphasize it more. There is no destination. There's no goal. There's no final achievement. This is only a continued exploration of your own higher self, your own higher being, your authentic who you are. And so what if you're not seeking any spiritual advancement? So what if you don't want conscious evolution? Nirvana and ascension are just illusory anyway. If you see them as goals rather than a conscious state of being, you're only fooling yourself. And I'll leave you to ponder that.